How many of you have seen that meme where you're looking for an office job and they ask you for 5 or even 10 years of experience? But here's the problem. To get experience, you need a job, and to get a job, you already need experience. And this isn't just a joke anymore. In 2026, this is becoming the reality for a lot of people, especially those trying to land their first office job. We live in a very fast, constantly changing world. Companies move quickly, markets change quickly, and businesses don't have the luxury of time anymore. They simply don't have months to hire someone and then spend even more months teaching that person how to do basic tasks. Today, companies want people who can start delivering value as soon as possible. Let's look at how hiring actually works in real life. When a company realizes they need a new employee, the first step is searching for that person. And for office positions, this alone can take weeks or even months. Let's say on average it takes about 2 months to find a suitable candidate. After that, the candidate agrees on a start date and joins the company. But that doesn't mean they're productive right away. Then comes the onboarding and adaptation process, learning internal systems, processes, tools, responsibilities, and expectations. Depending on the role, this usually takes another 2 to 3 months before the person becomes fully independent. So in total, from the moment a company realizes they need someone to the moment that person actually starts delivering real results, it can take up to 5 months. In today's reality, 5 months is a very long time. Because of that, companies are trying to optimize and simplify everything they can. Let's take a simple example. Imagine a company that builds websites. They design websites, write code, add initial content, and train clients on how to use their new site. Everything works well. Now they decide they want to offer an additional service, social media management for their clients. It sounds like a great upsell, but there's a problem. They don't have a social media specialist on the team. To test this new service properly, they would normally need to hire someone, but hiring would take months. Freelancers might work, but they're not always reliable or convenient, and waiting is expensive. So what do? They use AI. With the help of AI tools, the existing team can generate social media posts, create visuals that match the website design, write captions, and even plan basic content calendars. They don't need to hire a new specialist just to test the idea. The company expands its services without expanding its team. And this is where everything changes. With the development of AI, one employee can now perform multiple roles inside a company. Tasks that used to require several people can now be handled by fewer employees, with AI as a constant assistant. As a result, companies no longer look for someone who can only do one narrow task. They look for people with experience across different areas. Someone who can adapt, use tools, and solve problems. A kind of jack of all trades. That's why, when you open job boards today, even entry-level positions often require experience. Not because companies want to be unfair, but because they want to reduce training time as much as possible. A ready employee brings immediate value. A beginner requires time, effort, and resources. And there's another big reason why finding a job will be harder in 2026, especially for junior candidates. Many of the tasks that were traditionally done by entry-level employees are now handled by AI. Think about call center operators. For many people, this used to be a first step into a company, a way to learn how things work and grow from there. Today, AI can communicate with customers just as effectively, sometimes even better, or take data entry and junior data analysis roles. These positions involved working with spreadsheets, organizing information, preparing reports. AI now does this faster, more accurately, and without getting tired. The same applies to design, marketing, content creation, and many other fields. At the junior level, tasks are often repetitive and rule-based, exactly the kind of work AI is very good at. Let's imagine a simple situation. A mid-level manager needs to delegate a task. If they give it to a junior employee, they need to spend time explaining what to do, how to do it, what the expectations are. Then they wait. Then they review the result. Then they ask for revisions. One task can take hours or even days. Now compare that to AI. The manager explains the task once in plain language and gets a result almost instantly. No waiting, no follow-ups, no delays. Now imagine the manager has several of these tasks every single day. Instead of delegating them to assistants or junior employees, they delegate them to AI. Faster results, less friction, less cost. That's why companies today need fewer people to do the same amount of work. And when fewer people are needed, competition for jobs increases, especially for entry-level roles. So what should you do if you're looking for your first office job today? First, you need to understand the market and the time we live in. 20 years ago, knowing how to use a computer was a basic requirement. If you didn't know how to work with a computer, companies wouldn't hire you. They didn't have time to teach that. Today, basic skills mean more than just using a computer. Basic skills now include understanding how AI works, what it can do, and how to use it effectively. If you want to prepare for job interviews and increase your chances, you need to understand the limits and capabilities of AI. You need to know how to use it to solve real problems. You can't wait for a company to teach you this anymore. You need to go through your own boot camp. Learn on your own. Practice on your own. Build skills before you even get the job. Because in 2026, companies don't hire potential, they hire readiness. And the sooner you understand this, the better your chances will be.